think as creatives, it's fun to make things. It's fun to be on set. It's fun to produce things. But when I was starting out, when I had the day job, when I was just doing this kind of on the side, one of the things I always felt to the side was our deadlines, our deliveries. I feel like we were so slow about delivering projects. We didn't have really systems in place. We were just excited about shooting projects, and getting them through post was like whenever I felt creative. As we got a little bit better on production, we started to get a little bit better at post-production too. And one of the things that really changed the game for us was using multicams, planning for shooting with multicams for music videos. And I know a ton of people use multicams now, but for the people who don't, this is going to be helpful.
She from LA, she don't love me, she love the money, she wanna party.
Today we're going to dig into building a multicam for a music video, and I'm going to kind of run you through the steps. It's going to be a little bit different. We haven't done it to do yet, so this is new for me. I don't know how it's going to go, but we're going to try it out. The biggest takeaways is minimizing our layers, pre-organizing our projects, and labeling through color and through naming to manage your projects better. I think this is the key foundation, the base level of doing this. This can get a lot technical, but we're going to start off with a kind of basic one just to kind of get the gears primed, and we're going to do it, and we're going to see how it goes. Today, I'm going to be going through mainly how to just build and organize a project for a music video. We're going to be looking at this Midge IG project here. To me, this always starts with the folder structure. That's the most important thing here. When I look at folder structure, I'm looking at, we have the BTS, we have the deliverables, we have editing, we have the song, we have the video. Obviously, we're going to start with kind of the song and the video. These are our two main things. So we shot this on the red, and you'll see there's a card 1, card 2, card 3, and proxies. And I actually haven't organized the proxies down in yet. I doubt I'm going to. This is only going to be helpful if I had an assistant editor. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to double click in here, and I'm going to search .mov because we shot proxies as well as raw. And this is just going to be a good way to search everything in the video folder and bring all the files from the project into Premiere. Now I've already brought all of them in here. I just want to kind of speed things up and show you how I kind of bring this in. There's no organization to this right now. So the start of this is really organizing this. As you can see, I have the song here, I have the video here, and there's B-roll, and there's playthrough. And right now, everything's just in the video folder. I could just kind of start and go through and see what we're actually working with. So this is a B-roll clip. This B-roll clip, another B-roll clip, another one, and then we get to our first playthrough clip right here. So these are all on the pink wall B-roll. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give these a rows label. It just makes the most sense. No real rhyme or reason here. And we're going to put this in B-roll. And I'm actually not going to put extra folders here. I'm fine with this just by color coding it. It'll help me in my timeline when I'm going through B-roll. So then we get into this, which is just a fun little false roll here. But it's not super helpful for anything. So I'm going to make a new bin. I'm just going to put extras. Everything kind of extra is going to go in here. We'll close that. It doesn't need to take up a bunch of space. We'll also close B-roll. We have our first performance, and it's just one clip. Sometimes the red breaks things up. I'm going to actually call this T1 for take one, and then Exley is his name. So we're going to do X, pale pink, wide. And I'm going to copy this because we're going to have a similar naming right after this. So this is the same thing, but this is our medium. So this is going to be take 2, X, pale pink, and this is going to be medium. All right. And then this is just a B-roll clip. Another B-roll clip. And then we're into a performance here. Take 3, Xley. I'm going to call this pale pink contrast. Close up. Then we have a medium there. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of fast track through all this, and then we'll kind of go through the organization of it. But bottom line is we're just trying to actually organize the files in a way that makes sense both visually in here by reading, and then we'll color code them as well to where this makes sense and put them in the right folder so we can actually dive into building the project. All right, so we now have all these organized, and you can kind of see here with the playthroughs, we have them color coded. So we see what we're building. We can kind of see by color the different things that exist here. When I build a multicam, I do it by 4. So like this one obviously makes sense in building a multicam. These 4 make sense in a multicam. These 4 make sense in a multicam. And then we're left over with these 2 that maybe just go together as a separate thing. Now's the part where we bring the song in. we've recorded in a sense to where we should be able to kind of sync everything up, and this is just scratch track audio, and this is where we let Premiere Pro do the work, and we may have to do some post work to sync things up. So now we're going to build this multicam, this multicam, this multicam, and then this multicam. So let's start with the simple one first. Let's just select all three things, the track, the two clips, and then go down here to create multicam sequence. We click on that. Mine is already set to where it is, but a lot of times it's set for endpoints, and this is your synchronized point here. I set mine to audio because we're gonna sync by audio. We're gonna let it automatically do its work. We're gonna move the clips into a process bin, so we're gonna see that it's gonna make an extra folder knowing that it did its job, and if anything gets left in here, it means we need to manually sync it up. I leave all this stuff the same. If we're in an interview scenario, this might be a little bit different, but we're gonna essentially replace the audio and really condense this thing down, and then enumerate cameras, and click OK. So it did that pretty quick, and it did everything as can be. The next thing is I have sequences. So let's drag this up here to sequences. So let's make a new bin, and we're gonna call this bases. We're gonna make another bin, and we're gonna call this working. So bases is like the non-destructive, so what we kind of have here. But right here, we're gonna open this in timeline. So we're gonna open this up. We're gonna see what's going on here. And for some reason, this doesn't look the way that it's supposed to look. So I made a mistake here. What ended up happening was all these that I had selected, if I double click in here, you'll see that I have these markers already set. I need to actually expand this all the way out so it has more room to work. I went ahead and did a pre-color grade, and I just pulled stills for references for grading. I do this occasionally, and this is a little issue that comes up. So that's why it went so quick. We're going to do all this. We're going to repeat this step, and then we're going to hit OK. And it's going to do the work, and it should take a little bit longer this time. Hopefully it'll work. We'll see what happens. All right, bases, open in timeline. Let's see what we have this time. Much better. We don't know if it actually worked yet, but let's go ahead and clean this up. Big fan of cleaning these up, creating hard edges, and then coming down here and doing the same. Bam. Okay. I like to create the hard edge off of the audio track because that's actually our sync point. So you'll see this is already muted, this is on track, this is the actual song, and these are the actual clips. So we're just gonna play this and we're gonna see what happens. We'll go a little bit further. So good, we're in sync. So this is kind of just the base level of what we're gonna do here. So the next thing that we're gonna do is we're going to just go ahead and unlink these. We're going to delete these, and then we're going to delete tracks, blah, 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 all empty layers, great. Okay, so now it's nice and clean here. And we're going to right click this, and we're going to do new sequence from clip, and we're going to see that this is now in one layer. And if we go over here, if you don't already have this, if you go to add on, this is the multicam, and you can drag this down here where I already have it, then hit OK. And once you have it, you can click this and you can see your multicam. You have camera 1 and camera 2. So audio's coming out fine, but if it wasn't, we could very easily just go right here and we could grab this down and replace the audio. But for now, it's playing. That's great. So we'll go ahead and we're going to build all these. And remember, this is our purple. So let's just like label this appropriately. Let's just make it violet. So that's done. Let's give this a better name. Purple / surreal car MC. And I usually like, for the base, I like to do an 01 as an identifier, just so we know that that's the base by numbers. And then here, this is our workable. This is what we're working with right down here. We're going to change this to a 2. So we kind of see that, and it's going to go in here, so our base remains intact. We can go here and close this. And these might be helpful to go back to if we want to grade everything in this way, but we're not worrying about that right now. We're just worrying about getting all of our multicams built. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to build the rest of these really quick, and then we'll dive into how we build the whole thing out. You know, now we're looking at all of this from the standpoint of all being organized. So, but now you'll see that I have essentially 4 different scenes, and they're all fairly organized. As I come in here, you know, you see this is the purple one, and we have 2 clips in here that's really simple that we can go back and forth between. Here we have all pale pink. Here we have all the car scenes. Here we have all the white world. And this is just all the multicams. This is to the track, and this is what I refer to as the backbone. You know, I'm gonna chop all 4 of these up to the best things that I see, and then I'm gonna merge them all together. What I love about the multicam is, one, it condenses things down to where we don't have what in this case would be 14 layers of video, but now we have 4 manageable single tracks that we can make cuts to the beat instantaneously. You know, that's the other reason I love shooting proxies for the Red, is I can shoot the footage and I can shoot the proxy simultaneously and jump right into working these proxies. And you know, even the post-production workflow of relinking things is fairly quick. I think it makes up for it in being able to process this and watch 4 videos all at once and just make your decisions a lot quicker rather than waiting on rendering time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to make base decisions. And my personal preferences is not to get this too perfect, but to just get general things, you know, to watch the clips, to kind of make cuts when I think cuts would be good or when I see action kind of going on. And then, you know, I'll merge them all together and we'll make creative decisions once everything's in like what I consider the main build of the backbone. So we'll start with this simple one. There's 2 cuts to make. We don't got to be too crucial here. As you see, as we're going, you know, there's 1 camera and 2 camera. So I can kind of look at both of these. I can make a decision. I can say, okay, I'll cut here. You see it's going red here. When it's going red, it means a decision's being made. So just kind of feel it out. Again, I don't get too crucial here. I just kind of make decisions. All right, so we did our first cut, our first pass here, and you can see after we stop playing all this, all the cuts are in place. If we unclick this, then we can actually see, you know, like our decisions coming back. Great, 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 great. And you know, again, this isn't perfect. We're not perfectly on beat. I was just kind of going by the flow and looking at these. So I'm gonna crush through the rest of these and I'm gonna bring them together and I'm gonna kind of show you how this all ties together and then you start to really build and edit. All right, yeah, so now we've made all the cuts across all these. And now we're gonna do what I consider building the base backbone. So we have all the working here. And what I like to do is I just kind of like to duplicate the base one. So kind of reducing these down to just a main thing. We're not gonna be in multicam anymore. To me, it's like, which one is kind of the base thing here? I think we're just gonna do the car scene. So we will take the car scene one and we're going to duplicate it and we're going to rename it to music video build, and we'll call this 03. So now we can open this in the timeline and we'll see it's the same thing as this. So now we see all these and we just got to drag things in. So like I said earlier, when we made the initial cuts on the bass, we cut them off of the track, and that was for a reason. So when we build all these in, they come in sync. So I can grab this, I can pull it over here, I can snap it in here, boom, we're set. So now I can close that. We got the car scene in there, so we can close that. We need to bring pale pink in here, so we'll bring this in. Great, let's close this. And then we need to bring this one in. So we're gonna grab this. Now that we have all these, we're not actually hurting anything. So we're just going to unlink, so we're not blaring the speakers here. So yeah, now these are all able to make decisions. I like to just turn all the layers off, add a new layer. So I actually know the first thing that's going to happen is going to be the car. What we'll do is we'll just kind of go through here and we'll start to build and edit. All right, so as you can see here, I've kind of built things out, and you know, this is stuff that we still have to shoot. This is kind of the base build, and you know, this isn't the most basic. I'm kind of going, you know, you see I got like multiple layers going on with this because it's a little bit more stylized. But typically, you know, my goal is just to kind of cover all this up, beginning to end, and just build these up as we go. And as you can see, you know, we're about a minute in, and you know, I just like to kind of set a goal of, okay, let's get this far, that far, break the song up into thirds or quarters, or do the full thing. but this is kind of a fast way just through organization. And, you know, this is very easy to visually look at, make decisions. For the most part, you get the point. This is how we kind of start a project, organize it, and then allow ourselves to make creative decisions as we go. And we haven't put a whole lot of time into this. So hope this makes sense. Key thing is here is organization. Start your project organized, you know, label things with proper names, give everything bins, and match things as much as possible, because then this isn't cluttered. This is nice and easy to sort, and we can kind of see what's going on here with all the decisions we've made. All right, so that's how we do multicams for music videos. My biggest takeaway here is we want to save time. This is a time-saving tool. I encourage you to try it. And every time you try it, it'll get a little smoother, it'll get a little faster, and you'll start to see real returns on your time. For me, this has made a huge difference in our turnaround times, and it's made music videos very appealing for us because they don't take as much post-production time now. I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys learned something from it. So I would love feedback. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Maybe there's something I can dig in, or I could do another one of these again. Hope this can be a helpful tool for yourself, for other creatives. Thanks again for watching. Please subscribe, share, comment, all that sort of stuff. And I'll see you next time.